Hi guys, I'm Jeff, and I want to talk to you about a couple of subjects regarding Australia. I'm Australian. I was born in Australia. My father and mother were both born in Australia, so I guess that makes us Australians. But what I'll be talking about now and in the future is how life was in Australia when I was growing up. Maybe later how it is now, but that's not really what this is about. This is about when I was growing up, how it was. So Australia it's a different place. In the way that nowadays a lot of people work away, work in mining. There's a lot of family breakups, and it's only necessity to get money. But that's not really how it was when I was growing up. When I was growing up, my father worked, school teacher. Our neighbours, one was a fireman, one was a harbour pilot. The guy over the road worked in a hardware shop, might have owned it, I'm not sure. And we lived in a suburb that nowadays is pretty well sought after. In those days it was just bush, basically. My father got a war service loan, cut all the trees down himself. All the neighbours helped each other that time. Then he built a shed and we lived in that shed, a brick shed, for a few years while he built the house. Partly because he was a handyman and partly because that's just how it was. Money was hard to come by. There were obviously builders in that time, but maybe my father couldn't afford it, I'm not sure. Anyway, he worked. My mother stayed home, and I'm only sort of talking about my family, but most families that I remember were exactly the same, so I guess it's like sort of generalising the whole our community. So Mum stayed home, we went to school, we come home from school, Mum's there, gives you something to eat, and then you're basically on your own until it got dark, maybe 6 p.m. In them days, my father didn't have a lot of money, so no more than anyone else, but I'm just saying in them days there wasn't a lot of money around, so we had a black and white television in the lounge room. We had a radio, wireless used to call it, in the kitchen. Had a wood stove, which also sort of doubled as a water heater. Heated the water in the house. Not much else. Refrigerator, the old ringer type, washing machine, but no expensive sort of gadgets like there are nowadays. So what happened when my father came home from work, we, sort of talked for a while, and then we'd all sit down in the dining room, ate the meal that my mother prepared for us, And when I say eat it, my father would insist that everything on the plate, appreciate your mother's effort cooking it, preparing it, and eat it all. There was no, I don't like broccoli, I don't know, nah, eat it. Elbows off the table, don't lick your knife. And we'd all just, there were 6 of us, 4 children, and we'd just like sort of talk about what happened at school, just blah, 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 normal subjects. When the meal was over, someone or everyone would sort of take their plates in the kitchen, and then somebody would wash and somebody would dry the dishes, or maybe everyone would help to dry the dishes, put them away. I know nowadays people tend to just go to the table, eat the food and just walk away. It's like it's just, I don't know, unbelievable. Anyway, and then it'll be either, if you had homework, you go to your room, do your homework, or you go into the lounge room and watch a little bit of television. In them days, you used to have to have a license for the television and the radio as well. And I remember my father always, every time there was a knock on the front door, he'd be switching the television off in case it was the inspector coming around to check for licenses and stuff. It was a bit different, the television in them days as well. More sort of homely, sort of family orientated type shows, like Brady Bunch and Gunsmoke, Bonanza, just Doctor Who, just no swearing in the house. Bloody would get you a whack around the ears. You'd never say shit, and the F word it was never heard anywhere, inside the house or outside the house. Anyway, what I'm trying to explain is how the sort of family unit has broken sort of down a bit over the years. So we only had all those simple appliances. My father had a car, second-hand car, and that's all the expenses were. The power bills were relatively low. There was no air conditioning, no fans. There was only really lights, and you get taught, you walk in a room, turn the light on, you walk out, sort of turn the light back off. So it's only really the refrigerator, bit of television, washing machine using power. Okay, so now let's sort of fast forward maybe 40 years. Because I'm sort of talking about in the 60s how it was. So fast forward, sort of 40 years, 50 years. All of a sudden you have a massive 50-inch television in the lounge room. You have a sound bar, speaker system, you have an Xbox attached to that, maybe PlayStation. You have to have Wi-Fi to run all that stuff, so you have a Wi-Fi bill. You have televisions in every other room in the house, and they may also have an Xbox, PlayStation on them. Everybody has a mobile phone, so you have monthly telecommunication bills for every phone. You have multiple refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers. You have microwaves, you've got air fryers, water jugs. Every other appliance that you know that you have in your house is burning power up. So all of a sudden, poor old father, and multiple cars as well. My day, the mothers rarely drove. It was only the fathers who drove, had a car. That also changed. But nowadays there's multiple cars. The father has a car, the mother has a car. Some of the kids also have a car. So what I'm trying to say is that all the things that you have to buy cost money, and the father, poor old father, working on his own, is probably struggling a little bit to cover all the costs. So the mother also needs to work. So you have like a dual income family, which is rather than sort of being something exceptional, now is like the norm. And so when the kids come home from school, nobody there. So what happens when a group of teenagers bring their friends around, their girlfriends around, and there's no parents there to supervise? When I was growing up, if you had a girl in the house, leave the door open. Can't close the door. If you go somewhere, if you're going to a party or something like that, there had to be parents there to supervise it. Anyway, so all of a sudden you have young kids making decisions for themselves without supervision from an adult. And what do you think will happen there? Of course, they'll be, doing the same things we used to do, experiment, sort of drinking, smoking. But it's a little bit more open and a bit more widespread because there's nobody there watching them, so they can basically do what they want. And on the money side of things as well, it sort of causes a lot of tension in the houses, a lot of stresses over money. Sometimes the father's working away, he has to go away working for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Once again, the kids are unsupervised during the day. They don't have like a sort of father figure to discipline them, advise them, keep them in line, whatever. The father figure, I think, is important. Anyway, that's my views on how it was when I was growing up and how it is now, and how I think that those factors influence the slight breakdown of the family unit. Now, I'll be talking more about other subjects and how it was in Australia when I was growing up. later on. So if you're interested and you'd like to hear more of what I have to say, check my channel out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow. That'll be great. That's all I have now.